There are basically two kinds of rides on an electric skateboard. The first one being the one in which you just commute from A to B. Basically, you go to work, you go to school, you buy groceries, you have a destination to get to. The second one is the one in which you ride just for the pleasure of riding. Now, this one used to normally happen at night. Most of my friends with electric skateboards tend to ride just for fun at night. That's when it's not so hot in the summer and there aren't that many people on the road, so it's a little bit more safe. But there is one issue. If you ride at night and there are other cars or motorcycles on the roads, they might not be able to see you clearly because you're on an electric skateboard. And hence, that now most electric skateboards come with ambient lights. But this is special. This is the only electric skateboard under $500 that have ambient lights and a Bluetooth app. I already been riding this board for like about 1 or 2 kilometers. But before I get it even more dirty than already is, because it's been raining today, I wanted to show you some of the details and the design. Let's take a closer look. So it is very usual now with Maxfind electric skateboards. We have a very special grip tape. So instead of sandpaper that is very abrasive, like you touch it with your hand and you might even cut your skin. I do cut my skin many times with traditional electric skateboards grip tapes. But this one is different. I can literally rub it, which is basically softer to the touch. So if you touch it, you won't get hard, especially for girls that tend to have very sensitive skin, same as me. But it's also very advantageous for cleaning it up. So in a day like today, in which it's rainy, maybe later, I get back home, get them up, just clean it very quickly. It's very easy. The other thing that is very cool about this design is that the enclosures are like completely sealed. So there is no way that water can get into this battery because it's completely sealed. Another great thing is like the ambient lights. Let me turn that on for you. By the way, you can turn it from the remote, so you don't need to bend down. Is that, it's basically like a strip on each side and they have screws. So in case they're broken, they're very easy to replace. Unlike some of the new electric skateboards, they have this light all around, make looks a little bit cooler, but when they break, it costs a lot of money. It cost me like $300 to replace the light in one of my electric skateboards. So that's quite an issue. Now, this particular deck is made of a material that is extremely flexible. I mean, it's not flexible like it's bouncy or like it's saggy on the middle. What I'm trying to say is like it's flexible in a way that is really, really good at absorbing vibrations on the road. So I'll probably talk a little bit more on that later, but yeah, it's a lot of technology that you only see on a Maxfind electric skateboard. They do have their new design tracks that they're a little bit better than the ones before. They're very, very stable. Actually, they're too stable for my taste. I like to be a little bit more carry, but I can always loosen the tracks. It gets very tight from the factory. Now we do have hobby wing motors. So Maxfind have been using hobby wing motors for a really long time now, and I can understand why. Let me turn that ambient light off. They're very reliable and they're compatible with already quite a few wheels. For hub motors, the fact that it's compatible with like, 4 or 5 different wheels, well, that's really good. The other thing about it, they use hobby wing ESC, which is basically the smoothest ESC you can have. So acceleration and braking is gonna be 100%, very, very smooth. Basically the best in the industry. Hobby wing is simply the best when it comes to ESC and also when it comes to motors, especially for the hub wheels. Okay, that being said, I think there is nothing much we can see. The colors are very simple, which I like, simple design. They didn't go crazy with it. We have an arrow here on the front indicating where you're going. And then we have also a colliding stopper or something like to protect the decks in case the board shoots forward and hit the car. So yeah, it looks good, feels good. You can actually grab it with your hands because I'm not getting damage. My skin is good. It's a little bit lighter. That's because the battery is not so big. So what usually adds a lot of weight into an electric skateboard is the big batteries. But in this case, well, the batteries are basically like half the size of the Maxfind MAX 6 Pro. So that keeps it a little bit lighter and more easy to carry around. With that being said, let's go for a ride.
I got a confession. Been losing all momentum. because it's easy, but that don't make it better. I wanna dig my hands deep down in the dirt, take a walk along the street if I'm feeling dessert. All of this convenience just doesn't work for me. I wanna play with fire, let me get hurt. Can we take it back to 95, before we had this drama in our lives, just staring at the screen every day and night. I miss the rush of living in real life. Go get your DeLorean.
When it comes to the overall riding experience, I like the Max 5S. It is actually a very comfortable board. One thing that I kind of like quite a lot compared to other boards, and I'm talking at any price tag, is that the deck is kind of narrow, and that makes it very easily to do turns, and you know where your feet, you put it in one place and you don't need to reposition your feet. Nowadays there is this trend with electric skateboards where boards is getting wider and wider. That's because the trend is having longer range, and that's because bigger batteries need bigger decks to accommodate for those batteries. But these have a more moderate battery, somewhere around 160 watt hours, which the company claimed 22 kilometers. I got a lot less. I got somewhere around 15 kilometers. But that's because I'm a big guy first, basically 220 pounds, 5'9". And also I tend to ride very aggressive. Talking about performance, talking about riding aggressive, because you have hobby wheel motors, I wasn't expecting to be very fast, but to my surprise, it is quite responsive. Even for a beginner board, this is quite fun. The brakes are pretty okay, and the acceleration, it is very smooth, as to be expected from a hobby wing, but it's also quite fast. The top speed is a little bit below average at only 37 kilometers per hour. Nowadays, most electric skateboards can do 40, 45, even more for high-end performance boards. But I think for beginners, that's going to be more than enough. When it comes to the tracks, carving and turning ratio, I feel that it's a little bit limited. That's because the tracks were made for stability, and I guess for beginners, that's the best kind of structure you're going to get. It's almost impossible to get wobbles and fall down with this board. It's basically just too stable. And the turning ratio, because of that, is going to be a little bit more limited. But yeah, nothing wrong with it. I actually really like riding the Max 5S. One thing quite remarkable about the Max 5S is how comfortable it is to ride, especially on roads that are particularly the best for riding electric skateboards. Basically, roads that there are a lot of bumps and the roads have a lot of cracks. That's because the materials on this deck, which are quite unique. Usually you get boards that are made out of bamboo or fiberglass, but this is made of some PVC material that is very flexible and very good at absorbing vibrations. And for that reason, I guess this is something that beginners will really appreciate, because once you get really used to ride electric skateboards, well, you start to feel less and less those vibrations, and you start to get used, and also you start to position your legs a little bit better. But beginners are the ones who suffer the most of this discomfort, and you are not going to have really much of that experience with the Maxfind MAX 5S. So let's talk about some of the reasons why you might buy a Maxfind board over some other brands. And one of the reasons is, like we already discussed, it is very comfortable. But this particular board also offers something different, and that is the lights. That at this price point, there is nothing like it on an electric longboard. And the other reason is the Bluetooth app. So first, let's talk a little bit about the light. It kind of cycles through different colors, and it has this animation that looks pretty cool. And if you brake, it goes into red to let the other people know that you're braking. And another cool thing about it is, like, even if you deactivated the light, well, the braking light is always on. We also do have a Bluetooth app that you can control the board from your phone. Well, not control, but change some settings. Like, for example, set each individual gear to a specific speed. You can also have cruise control and check the mileage and the remaining battery. There are a few other things that you can do, like lock the wheels. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of useful, and it beats the hell out of having no app. Like pretty much any other skateboard at this price point does not have an app. So it's good to to have it. So in conclusion, what do I really think about the Maxfind MAX 5S? Do I recommend it? Well, obviously yes. It's a big yes because it offers a lot more than most of the competition at the same price point. But there is one question that you may be asking, at least I was asking it myself. How does it compare to the big brother, the Max 6 Pro? And I guess if you have those extra $100, I will go for the Max 6 Pro. You get almost twice the range with better battery cells, and you got belt drive system. So you have the ability to change pretty much any wheels you want, and the belt drive system is overall a little bit better than the hub, at least for me, for my personal preference. That board also happens to be a belt drive system that is very quiet. So if for whatever reason you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna get a hub because it's quiet, well, there isn't that much of a difference here. They're both very quiet. So yeah, it comes highly recommended. If you have extra money, go for the Maxis Pro. They're gonna link in the screenshot. They do have a little discount, their affiliate links, by the way. So you help this channel grow each buy from my links. You're not gonna pay any extra, you get a discount. So I would highly recommend you that click those links if you wanna buy either the Max 5S or the Max 6 Pro. Okay, that's it for me today. If you have somehow enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and drop a comment in the section down below, in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about this board, and I'll catch you up on the next video. Adios, amigos.